All right, here's the thing. A lot of parents tell me they're just totally confused about this whole reinforcement thing. Like, they hear positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, and they're like, wait, does negative mean bad? Am I accidentally doing something wrong? So let's unpack that today.
Yeah, and I love this topic because it's one of those places where, the words kind of throw people off. So if you've ever wondered if you're mixing it up, you are so not alone.
Before we dive in, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Kristin, and you're listening to the Kiwi Nest by Kiwi Kids. Today's podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Kids ABA, providing personalized in-home ABA therapy, parent support, and school consultation for families across Colorado. Learn more at kiwikidsaba.com. And just a reminder, this podcast is for educational purposes only and not a substitute for professional advice.
All right, so picture this. Your kiddo is in the back seat and they're screaming because they don't want to buckle their seatbelt. You say, fine, you don't have to buckle up yet, and the screaming stops. In that moment, you feel this huge relief, right? Like, phew, it's finally quiet. But here's the twist. That's actually negative reinforcement. And that's not necessarily bad, it's just it works differently than what people usually think.
Right, and then flip it around. Let's say after your child finally does buckle up, you smile and say, hey, thanks for doing that so quickly. That little bit of praise, that's positive reinforcement. Totally different from what we just described, but both are reinforcement.
And here's where parents usually get tripped up. Positive doesn't mean good, and negative doesn't mean bad. It's really just about adding or taking away something. So positive reinforcement means you're adding something the child likes, like praise, a high five, maybe extra playtime. Negative reinforcement means you're taking away something the child doesn't like a chore, or in that seatbelt example, the screaming stopped.
Right, and the key thing, this is huge, is both positive and negative reinforcement increase a behavior. That's why they're both called reinforcement. If the behavior is happening more often, then whatever you did worked as reinforcement.
Okay, so let's make it really real. Imagine your child is dragging their feet at homework. You tell them, if you finish these 5 problems, you don't have to do the extra worksheet tonight. Bam, that's negative reinforcement because you're taking away something they didn't want. And you know what? It can totally motivate them.
Yeah, and I'll give you the flip side. You could also say, if you finish these 5 problems, we'll play a quick game after. That's positive reinforcement because you're adding something fun. Both strategies can work. It just depends on the situation.
And I think that's really freeing for parents. Like, you don't have to beat yourself up if you're using negative reinforcement. It's not a bad word. It's just another tool in the toolbox.
Right. But one little caution here. Sometimes negative reinforcement sneaks up on us as parents. Like, if your child is whining and then you give in just to make it stop, the whining is more likely to come back next time. Because the child just learned, oh, if I keep whining, eventually I get what I want.
Oh, wow. Yes, that's such a good point. And that's why being consistent matters so much. If we can hold that boundary and then reward the positive behavior, even in small ways, it really changes things over time.
So what's something parents can try this week? First thing, catch your child being good. Like, if they put their shoes on without a fight, don't just think, finally. Say something, even small, like, thanks for doing that so quickly. That's positive reinforcement in action.
Second thing, if there's a task your child really dreads, like maybe unloading the dishwasher, think about how you could use negative reinforcement in a healthy way. For example, if you unload the dishwasher now, you don't have to set the table tonight. That's removing a less fun task to increase the behavior you want.
And the big encouragement here is don't stress about doing it perfectly. Every time you notice your child's effort and you respond in a way that makes them want to do it again, you're already using reinforcement. That's a win.
Yes, and over time, those little wins add up. You're not just teaching your child new behaviors, you're building this really strong relationship where they know you notice the good stuff too.
Thanks for listening to the Kiwi Nest by Kiwi Kids. Remember, the information shared here is for educational and informational purposes only. It should not be taken as medical, behavioral, or therapeutic advice for your child. Every child is unique, so please consult with a licensed professional or your healthcare provider for guidance tailored to your family's needs. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not replace individualized care.
We'll see you next time, and until then, keep celebrating those little moments. They matter more than you think.
Thank you.